Have you ever wondered why, as we age, it feels like our muscles begin to shrink overnight, even when we haven't changed much about the way we live? What's fascinating is that this isn't just an illusion. Starting as early as our 40 and accelerating after 60, the body begins losing muscle mass at a rate of about 1% per year. Scientists call this sarcopenia, and if left unchecked, it doesn't just affect strength, it influences balance, metabolism, immunity, and even brain health. But here's the twist. One of the most powerful ways to stop muscle loss doesn't actually happen in the gym. It happens in the hours before you fall asleep. Why? Because nighttime is when your body enters its deepest repair cycle. Growth hormone and testosterone peak, muscle fibers broken down during the day's activity signal your body to rebuild. And here's the key. If you don't give your body the right raw materials and signals before bed, that rebuilding process stalls and muscles continue to waste away night after night. Think about it this way. Sleep is like the body's construction shift. If the workers arrive to find no bricks, no cement, no blueprint, what happens? The structure weakens. But if you supply the right tools before you close your eyes, the body gets to work reinforcing strength, repairing tissue, and protecting you from the cascade of frailty that so often accompanies aging. So tonight, before you drift off, you have a choice. You can do nothing and allow the slow drip of muscle loss to continue, or you can adopt a simple science-backed protocol that helps your body rebuild stronger even as you rest. One of the most overlooked secrets to preserving muscle as we age lies not in what we do during the day, but in what we choose to do just before sleep. And the number one factor here is protein timing. Here's what the research shows. After the age of 60, our bodies become less sensitive to the muscle-building signal from protein. Scientists call this anabolic resistance. Imagine your muscle fibers as workers waiting for instructions. When you're younger, they respond quickly to even a small amount of protein, grabbing those amino acids and using them as building blocks. But as we get older, those workers become sluggish. They don't respond as quickly, and if you give them too little material, the construction site shuts down. Now, here's where bedtime becomes a golden opportunity. During sleep, your body enters its longest fasting window. If you go to bed without giving your muscles fuel, they're essentially left without the bricks they need to rebuild. This is one of the hidden reasons why seniors experience accelerated muscle loss. The body is breaking down old tissue overnight, but doesn't have enough raw material to build it back stronger. Several studies have tested this idea. In older adults, consuming 20 to 40 grams of protein right before bed, particularly a slow-digesting protein like casein, significantly increased overnight muscle protein synthesis. Casein, found in cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, or specialized protein powders, digests slowly and provides a steady stream of amino acids for 6 to 8 hours. It's like setting up an overnight delivery system for your muscles, making sure the workers have enough supplies to keep building all through the night. Think about it in simple terms. If you were repairing a house, would you send a construction crew in the evening with no wood, no nails, and no blueprint? Of course not. But that's exactly what happens when we go to bed on an empty stomach or with insufficient protein, especially in older age. So what can you do in practical terms? A simple tool is this: about 30 to 60 minutes before bed, have a small protein-rich snack. A cup of low-fat cottage cheese, a serving of Greek yogurt, or a protein shake made with casein powder are excellent options. If dairy isn't your choice, plant-based proteins like pea or soy blends can also provide sustained release of amino acids. The key is to aim for 25-40 grams, depending on your body size and activity level. Another layer to consider is combining protein with a small amount of healthy fat or complex carbohydrates. For example, cottage cheese with a spoon of flaxseed, or yogurt with a handful of oats. This not only supports digestion and provides fuel for repair, but also helps regulate blood sugar during the night, leading to more stable, deeper sleep. Now, you might ask, isn't eating before bed bad for weight or digestion? That depends on what you're eating. Heavy meals, fried foods, or large portions can interfere with sleep quality. But small, protein-centered snacks are different. They are targeted, functional nutrition. They're not about filling your stomach. They're about signaling your body to repair and protect muscle while you sleep. And here's the empowering part. This one habit alone can begin shifting the tide against age-related muscle loss. You don't need fancy supplements or long workouts to benefit. You simply need to give your body the raw materials it craves at the right time. So the question becomes, tonight, will you send your muscles to bed hungry, or will you give them the tools they need to stay strong, mobile, and vital? If protein is the building block of your muscles, magnesium and electrolytes are the silent architects working behind the scenes to make sure those blocks are laid correctly. Most people think of muscle as something that depends only on protein and exercise, but the truth is your muscles also depend on minerals to contract, relax, and repair. Without them, the whole process slows down and recovery becomes incomplete. Let's start with magnesium because it's often called the relaxation mineral. Here's what the research shows. Magnesium is required for over 300 biochemical reactions in the body, many of which directly impact muscle health. It helps regulate muscle contractions, nerve signaling, and even the activation of enzymes that turn food into usable energy. In the context of sleep, magnesium also plays a key role in calming the nervous system and promoting deep restorative rest, the very stage of sleep where most muscle repair occurs. Now, here's the surprising fact. Nearly 70% of older adults don't get enough magnesium. Why? Because as we age, our ability to absorb magnesium from food declines, and at the same time, common medications such as diuretics for blood pressure can cause the body to lose even more of it. This leaves many seniors in a chronic state of deficiency without realizing it. And the result? Nighttime leg cramps, restless sleep, muscle weakness, and even higher risk of falls. Think of magnesium as the oil in an engine. You might have enough gasoline, in this case, protein and calories, but if the engine isn't well oiled, it grinds, overheats, and eventually breaks down. That's exactly how your muscles feel without adequate magnesium. So, what can you do before bed to harness this mineral? One simple tool is to include a magnesium-rich food in your evening routine. A small handful of almonds, pumpkin seeds, or a piece of dark chocolate can be surprisingly effective. Another option is a warm cup of chamomile or lemon balm tea, both of which naturally contain magnesium and also calm the nervous system. For some, a magnesium supplement taken in the evening may also be appropriate, but food sources should always be the foundation. Now let's connect this to electrolytes more broadly. Electrolytes, including sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium, are like the electrical wiring of your muscles. They ensure that the signal from your brain telling a muscle to contract actually makes it to the fibers. When these minerals are imbalanced, the signal wires misfire. That's why dehydration or low electrolyte levels so often show up as muscle cramps, weakness, or even twitching at night. A practical bedtime ritual could be as simple as this. After dinner, have a glass of water with a pinch of mineral salt or an electrolyte tablet designed without added sugars. Pair this with a magnesium-rich snack and you've just created a biochemical environment where muscles can relax, nerves can calm, and repair can happen efficiently. Now, you may be asking, does this really make such a big difference? The answer is yes. In clinical studies, restoring magnesium and electrolyte balance has been shown to reduce nocturnal cramps, improve sleep depth, and enhance recovery from physical activity. Over time, this reduces the steady drain of muscle tissue and protects strength as you age. Now, here's a moment where I want to pause and speak directly to you. If you're finding these insights useful, if you're realizing that muscle preservation is about more than just lifting weights, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here we dive deep into the science of aging well, and every week I share tools you can apply to keep your body and mind thriving. Joining this community means you'll never miss the strategies that can truly change the trajectory of your health. So before bed tonight, remember this: your muscles don't just need fuel, they need balance. Provide them with the right minerals, and you'll wake not only stronger, but more energized and steady on your feet. When most people think about maintaining muscle, they immediately picture heavy gym workouts, long hours under weights, or pushing themselves to exhaustion. But here's a truth that often surprises seniors. You don't need intense exercise late in life to send your muscles a powerful message. Even light, strategic movements in the evening can prime your muscles, telling your body to repair and rebuild them while you sleep. Here's what the research shows. Muscles are highly responsive to mechanical signals. When you use them, even lightly, you trigger a cascade of molecular messengers that say, this tissue is important, keep it strong. Scientists call this process mechanotransduction. It's a fancy term, but think of it like flipping a light switch. Even a gentle movement flips that switch, activating the pathway that leads to repair and growth. For older adults, this concept is a game changer. You don't need to lift heavy or spend hours exercising before bed. In fact, doing too much can elevate adrenaline and make it harder to sleep. Instead, what works best is light resistance priming, just 5 to 10 minutes of controlled body weight movements or light band exercises about an hour before sleep. Imagine this, a set of 15 wall push-ups, 10 slow squats holding onto a chair, and a gentle band pull apart. That's it. You're not trying to build fatigue. You're simply waking up the muscle fibers and signaling to your brain and body, these muscles are needed. Once you go to sleep, your repair systems now prioritize those activated fibers. It's the biological equivalent of putting in a special request at the repair shop. There's a powerful analogy here. Think of your muscles as a garden. If you water it, even lightly, before sunset, the soil absorbs the moisture overnight, and by morning the plants stand taller. But if you neglect it, the garden dries out and withers. Evening priming is that gentle watering, not overwhelming, not draining, but enough to keep the system alive and flourishing. Practical protocols could look like this. Option 1, a short circuit of wall push-ups, seated leg extensions, and standing calf raises. Option 2, resistance band rows, gentle squats, and side leg lifts while holding onto a counter. Option 3, if mobility is limited, even isometric holds, like pressing your palms together for 20 seconds or squeezing a cushion between your knees, send muscle-preserving signals. The key is not intensity, but consistency. 5 minutes a night adds up to over 30 hours of muscle activation across a year. That's 30 hours of extra repair signals your body would not have otherwise received. Another benefit of evening priming is its impact on circulation and sleep quality. Gentle movement increases blood flow, delivering nutrients and oxygen to tissues, and it also lowers blood sugar if you've eaten dinner earlier in the evening. This creates a smoother hormonal environment for deep sleep, which further amplifies recovery. Now, some of you might wonder, isn't exercising at night stimulating? The answer depends on the type of activity. High-intensity exercise too close to bed can indeed raise heart rate and make sleep more difficult. But light, controlled priming movements do the opposite. They release muscle tension, promote circulation, and even calm the mind. Many seniors actually report falling asleep faster after these simple routines. Here's the empowering part. This doesn't require a gym, equipment, or special training. It's about sending your muscles a signal of relevance. Your body is always listening to what you do. If you sit all evening and then go straight to bed, the message is, these muscles aren't needed. But if you spend just a few minutes reminding your body they matter, the message becomes, keep these strong, they're vital. So tonight, instead of collapsing straight onto the couch, try 5 minutes of gentle priming. Your future self, walking steadily, standing tall, and carrying independence will thank you. If protein and minerals are the bricks and tools, and evening priming is the signal to build, then sleep is the construction site itself. Without deep, restorative sleep, the entire process of muscle preservation breaks down. And for seniors, this is often where the greatest hidden losses occur. Here's what the research shows. Deep, slow-wave sleep is the stage where anabolic hormones, particularly growth hormone and testosterone, peak. These hormones act as the master foreman of repair, directing amino acids into muscle fibers and stimulating protein synthesis. If you cut short this stage of sleep, or if your sleep is shallow and fragmented, those hormones never reach their optimal levels and your body shifts into breakdown mode. Think of it this way. Imagine hiring a construction crew to rebuild your home, but the foremen never show up on site. The workers wander aimlessly, the materials sit unused, and progress halts. That's exactly what happens when you neglect deep sleep. The materials you provided with food and the signals you sent with movement can't be organized into real repair. For older adults, achieving slow-wave sleep can be challenging. Aging itself changes sleep architecture, making it harder to stay in deep stages for long periods. Add in late caffeine, alcohol, evening screen use, or irregular bedtimes, and the fragile balance collapses. The result is not just grogginess the next day, it's accelerated muscle loss, impaired immune function, and reduced resilience. So how do you optimize for deep, restorative sleep? A simple tool is what scientists call sleep hygiene, the set of habits and environmental cues that prepare your brain and body to wind down. This means dimming lights about an hour before bed to signal the brain's natural release of melatonin. It means avoiding caffeine after midday and steering clear of alcohol close to bedtime, since both disrupt deep sleep cycles. It means creating a cool, quiet, and dark sleeping environment that allows your nervous system to shift fully into repair mode. Another strategy is maintaining a consistent bedtime and wake time. The brain's circadian rhythm thrives on regularity. When you go to bed at the same time each night, your body learns to anticipate sleep, making it easier to drop quickly into the deep stages where anabolic hormones surge. Here's an analogy. Your sleep cycle is like an orchestra. Each stage, light, deep, REM, has its role to play. But if the conductor doesn't show up on time, the music is chaotic. By setting consistent cues, you ensure the conductor arrives and the orchestra plays in harmony. Now, I want you to reflect. How often do you sacrifice sleep for an extra hour of television or scrolling through a phone? Each time, you're not just losing rest, you're losing muscle. You're trading long-term vitality for short-term distraction, and the cost is higher than you might realize. This is why prioritizing deep sleep is not optional. It is as fundamental to muscle health as nutrition and exercise. When you get it right, you amplify the effects of everything else you do, your protein intake, your mineral balance, your evening priming. When you neglect it, you undercut all of those efforts. And if this perspective is resonating with you, if you're beginning to see how interconnected these nighttime habits are, I'd like to invite you again to join this community by subscribing. Every week I share science-backed strategies designed to help you age with strength, clarity, and resilience. Subscribing ensures you'll always have the tools to protect your health and independence. So tonight, when you think about turning in, remember this: sleep is not passive. It is the most active state of repair your body knows. Treat it with the respect it deserves, and your muscles and your future self will thank you. When we think about building or preserving muscle, protein often takes the spotlight. And it's true, without amino acids, muscles cannot grow. But there's another essential piece of the puzzle that many seniors overlook. Muscles don't just need building blocks, they need fuel to carry out the work of repair. That fuel comes from glycogen, the stored form of carbohydrate in your muscle fibers. Here's what the research shows. During the night, your muscles draw on glycogen stores not only for energy, but also to prevent muscle breakdown. When glycogen levels are low, your body may increase the breakdown of protein to generate energy. In other words, if the tank is empty, your body starts burning the very tissue you're trying to preserve. Think of glycogen as the electricity powering your repair crew. You might have delivered all the bricks protein to the site, but if the lights go out, the crew can't work. Instead, they'll start burning wood from the existing structure just to stay warm. That's muscle breakdown, and it accelerates sarcopenia if you go to bed with low glycogen reserves. Now, here's the nuance. This doesn't mean loading up on heavy pasta dinners or sugary desserts at night. What your body benefits from most is a small, balanced snack that combines protein with a modest amount of complex carbohydrate before bed. This pairing provides amino acids for repair and glucose for energy, a one-two punch that maximizes muscle preservation. Practical examples could include a small bowl of Greek yogurt with berries and a sprinkle of oats, cottage cheese with a slice of whole grain toast, a protein shake blended with half a banana. For plant-based options, tofu or soy yogurt with a spoonful of quinoa or rolled oats. These combinations are light, easy to digest, and provide both steady amino acid delivery and glycogen replenishment through the night. Another point to consider is blood sugar stability. Seniors often struggle with blood sugar swings that disturb sleep. A balanced protein-carb snack before bed helps stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing the nighttime dips that can wake you up or leave you restless. This stability, in turn, improves the depth and quality of your sleep, which, as we discussed earlier, directly amplifies anabolic hormone release. So the impact of this habit is layered. Better glycogen stores mean less muscle breakdown, more efficient repair, and more stable sleep. Now let's zoom out. For many older adults, meals get smaller with age. Appetite decreases, digestion slows, and sometimes medication dulls the sense of hunger. The result is that energy intake, especially carbohydrates, becomes too low, leaving muscles starved for fuel. That's why this simple evening adjustment can be so powerful. It's not about eating more overall, it's about eating more strategically. There's also a psychological benefit. Many seniors find that having a planned, nourishing bedtime snack creates a sense of comfort and routine, replacing the tendency to graze on less healthy options. Instead of cookies or chips, which spike blood sugar and impair sleep, this targeted snack becomes part of a ritual of self-care. So tonight, ask yourself, am I sending my body to bed with an empty tank, or am I giving it the fuel it needs to rebuild me stronger? That choice, as small as it seems, can change the trajectory of your strength, mobility, and independence over time. So we've talked about protein, minerals, priming movements, deep sleep, and balanced fuel, but there's one more factor that often flies under the radar, and it may be the most powerful of all. That factor is stress. Here's what the research shows. The stress hormone cortisol is catabolic, which means it breaks tissue down. Elevated cortisol levels, especially in the evening, directly oppose the action of muscle-building hormones like testosterone and growth hormone. This creates a tug-of-war inside your body. On one side, you have the systems trying to build muscle. On the other, cortisol is tearing it down. If stress wins the battle, muscle loss accelerates no matter how well you eat, move, or sleep. Think of cortisol like a fire alarm. In short bursts, it's useful. It wakes you up, gives you energy to respond to challenges. But when it stays on, blaring all night long, it exhausts the system, damages the structure, and leaves you depleted. For seniors, chronic stress and evening worry often show up as trouble falling asleep, shallow rest, or waking up multiple times in the night, and each of those disrupts the very window when muscles are supposed to repair. This is where mind-body relaxation rituals become essential. Simple practices before bed can lower cortisol, calm the nervous system, and create the internal environment for repair. And the good news, these tools are practical, accessible, and free. One of the most effective is slow diaphragmatic breathing. Just 5 minutes of slow breathing in through the nose for 4 counts, out through the mouth for 6 counts, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and digest mode. This not only lowers cortisol, but also relaxes muscle tension, preparing the body for sleep. Another tool is gratitude journaling. Research shows that writing down 3 things you're grateful for each night lowers stress, improves sleep quality, and boosts emotional resilience. Gratitude shifts the brain out of fear and vigilance states driven by cortisol and into safety and calm. For those who prefer movement, gentle stretching or restorative yoga can also serve as a powerful bridge into rest. Stretching reduces muscle tightness, enhances circulation, and tells the body it's safe to let go. And let's not overlook the simplest ritual of all, creating a predictable wind-down routine. Just as a child's bedtime story signals the brain it's time to sleep, your evening rituals, whether it's tea, reading, or soft music, cue your nervous system to lower cortisol and prepare for rest. Here's the empowering insight. You don't have to eliminate stress from your life to protect your muscles. Stress is part of being human. What matters is whether you give your body a chance to recover from it each night. By lowering cortisol in the evening, you open the door for anabolic hormones to step in and do their work. And I want to pause here to invite you, if these tools are helping you see how interconnected body and mind truly are, then make sure you're part of this community. Like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe so you never miss the weekly science-backed strategies we explore together. We're building more than muscle here. We're building resilience, independence, and quality of life. So as you prepare for bed tonight, remember it's not just about what you eat or how you move. It's also about what you feel. By calming your mind, you're not only giving yourself peace, you're giving your muscles the chance to stay strong for life. We've covered a lot of ground, and by now you can see that protecting your muscles as you age is not about one single magic bullet. It's about creating the right conditions every night so that your body can do what it's designed to do: repair, rebuild, and renew. Let's quickly revisit the 6 tools you now have at your disposal. First, we talked about protein timing before sleep. By providing your body with 25-40 grams of slow digesting protein before bed, you're ensuring your muscles have the raw materials they need to rebuild all night long. Second, we explored magnesium and electrolytes, the mineral balance that keeps your muscles firing smoothly, prevents cramps, and supports deeper sleep. Third, we introduced evening resistance priming, those 5 minutes of light movement that send a signal to your body. These muscles are needed. Keep them strong. Fourth, we highlighted the power of deep sleep and anabolic hormones. Without restorative rest, all the protein and movement in the world can't translate into lasting strength. Fifth, we uncovered the role of glycogen replenishment, a simple act of pairing protein with a small portion of complex carbs before bed, fueling repair and stabilizing your sleep. And finally, we arrived at mind-body relaxation and cortisol control, the practice of lowering stress hormones so that your body's repair systems can take the lead. Now pause and notice something. Each of these tools is simple, accessible, and completely within your control. None require expensive equipment, complicated programs, or hours of your time. They are small levers that, when used together, can profoundly change the trajectory of aging. And the stakes couldn't be higher. Muscle is not just about appearance or strength in the gym. It's the very tissue that keeps you mobile, independent, and resilient. It stabilizes your joints, protects you from falls, regulates your metabolism, and even supports your immune system. Losing muscle is not just losing strength, it's losing freedom. But preserving muscle is preserving vitality. Think about it. Every evening, you are faced with a choice. You can allow the natural tide of aging to carry your muscles away slowly, silently, year after year, or you can intervene, not with drastic measures, but with small science-backed steps that tell your body, I am still here, I am still building, I am still strong. So here's my challenge to you tonight. Choose one of these tools. Maybe it's a protein-rich snack. Maybe it's 5 minutes of resistance priming. Maybe it's turning off the screens early and practicing deep breathing. Just one. Try it. And notice how your body responds over the coming days and weeks. Then layer in another. Before long, these simple rituals will become habits, and habits will become your shield against decline. And I'll leave you with this reflection. Aging is not about surrender. It's about adaptation. It's about using what we now know from science and applying it in ways that allow us to keep living fully with clarity, strength, and purpose. You have more influence over your health than you may realize, and that influence begins with what you choose to do before bed. If you found value in this journey today, I invite you to become part of our community. Like this video, if it helped you, share it with someone you love who could use this knowledge, and subscribe so you never miss the next set of tools and strategies we'll explore together. This is more than a channel, it's a movement to age with resilience, wisdom, and vitality. Tonight, when you turn off the lights, remember your muscles are listening. Give them the fuel, the signals, and the peace they need, and they will carry you forward, strong, steady, and capable into the years ahead.